Hello boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about the mysteries of ancient Egyptian architecture. As you can see in front of you, there's a picture of the pyramids and the Sphinx, two famous examples of Egyptian architecture. So, let's begin. Let's start with an overview. Ancient Egypt was a civilization that existed thousands of years ago in northern Africa. As you probably know, it's famous for mummies, pharaohs, the pyramids, and hieroglyphics. It is one of the oldest civilizations to have existed. In today's lesson, we're going to specifically talk about the architecture of ancient Egypt. Below you is a video that gives you a general idea of what ancient Egyptian architecture looks like. So in your free time, give it a look. First, we're going to talk about the building materials. Since Egypt is located in a desert, there wasn't much wood available for building. As a result, the main materials in Egyptian architecture were mud bricks and stone. The main types of stones used were limestone, sandstone, and granite. Egyptian houses were made of mud taken from the Nile River. When they were left to bake in the sun, the mud would harden and become acceptable for use in construction. So here's an example of limestone. Here we have sandstone, which, if you look at it, kind of looks like sand. And lastly is granite. Now some of you might know granite because you have kitchen countertops that are made from it. It's a pretty popular building material nowadays. Alright, now we have the different styles of Egyptian architecture. Usually the walls, columns, and piers of ancient Egyptian buildings were covered in hieroglyphics, which was the written language of ancient Egypt. Many Egyptian structures were also decorated with pictures of scarabs, vultures, palm leaves, or the papyrus plant. All of these things had symbolic meaning to Egyptians. Here are some examples of Egyptian columns. For those of you who have studied Greek or Roman history, I'm sure you can see some of the similarities. Here is an example of Egyptian hieroglyphics, language very different than written English. So, the Pyramids of Giza. One of the most famous examples of ancient Egyptian architecture are the Pyramids of Giza. They were built as tombs for the pharaohs, the kings of ancient Egypt. The oldest and largest pyramid, called the Great Pyramid of Giza, was built around 2580 BC. The pyramids serve as evidence of just how advanced Egyptian architecture was. The Great Pyramid was over 480 feet tall. Again, here's a picture so you can see just how big it is. Next we have the Sphinx. The statue depicts a mythical creature representing the body of a lion with the head of a human. The Sphinx is over 66 feet tall and 63 feet wide. Many Egyptologists, scientists who study ancient Egypt, disagree over when the Sphinx was built. However, it is generally believed to have been constructed between 2558 and 2532 BC. Throughout history, the Sphinx has been worshipped and visited by many people. Even Napoleon went to see it. Here are some pictures of the Sphinx. Last, we have Luxor Temple. Luxor Temple is a massive temple complex built near the Nile River. It was built around 1400 BC. Altogether, the area is home to 6 temples. The temples were mostly built with sandstone. Also, the temples were used to hold many religious festivals important to ancient Egyptians. Here you can see some pictures of Luxor Temple. Alright boys and girls, thank you for watching my presentation. I hope you learned something valuable.